Stirling is often referred to as Scotland's smallest city, but is it? Today, Scotland has 8 major cities. These are Edinburgh, Glasgow, Dundee, Perth, Aberdeen, Inverness, Dunfermline and Stirling. But what about Whithorn in Dumfries and Galloway? Nestled in the south of Scotland lies the pretty town of Whithorn in Wigtownshire. It's said St Ninian, known as the Apostle of the Southern Picts, brought Christianity to the region, having been born in the area. He'd gone to Rome, was ordained Bishop of Britain, and returned home. He built his church Candida Casa at Whithorn, which he dedicated to St Martin of Tours in France. He's believed to have died on 16 September 432 and was buried within the grounds of the churchyard. As the village grew into a town, it gained royal borough status. The name Whithorn comes from the Shining White House, the church which Ninian is said to have built. A thriving Christian settlement can be traced back to the 5th century, long before St Columba arrived on Iona. These early settlers were skilled and traded in luxury goods, and had strong connections with the Gauls and other Celtic tribes. Following the cessation of Norse rule in Galloway by the 12th century, including at Whithorn, the priory was built in 1128 by Fergus, Lord of Galloway, during the reign of David I, but only the Romanesque archway survives. He appointed Gilla Alden as first bishop of Whithorn after the Viking Age. Other bishops of note were Gavin Dunbar, later Archbishop of Glasgow, and James Beaton, also Archbishop of Glasgow and of St Andrews. Over the centuries, it became a place of healing and pilgrimage, with saints, kings and commoners all visiting the shrine of St Ninian, including Kenneth II, Robert Bruce and James IV, who made the pilgrimage every year. Queen Elizabeth II and King Charles III, when he was Prince of Wales, have also visited. A charter of 1511, during the reign of James IV, confirmed the rights of the priory and convent of Candida Casa on Whithorn. This meant it was a free borough and could hold a market or fair, as well as collect tolls and customs from the nearby Isle of Whithorn. However, the exact date it became a royal borough is unknown. The charter does, however, refer to the granting of privileges to Whithorn as early as the reigns of King Robert Bruce and his son David II in the 1300s. In the 15th century, the lands of the prior were raised to regality status, giving him the right to take action in all criminal cases, except treason, in the area. The houses on the wide road that makes up George Street mainly date from the Georgian period, but it's clear there have been settlers in the area for many centuries before that. The layout of the street is medieval, and large strips of land behind the houses are also testament to these ancient times, extending out from the earlier monastery and its lands. According to the statistical account of 1794, it consisted chiefly of one street running north to south, with several alleys stretching to the east and to the west. The minister, Isaac Davidson, also described the hall in the centre of the town with its noble spire. In the new statistical account, the street was described rather scathingly as being inconveniently narrow at both extremities and uselessly wide in the middle. When redevelopment took place following the Napoleonic Wars, the long strips of land were kept, and the walls were simply raised to second-storey level. Roofs were also raised, and slated. In the centre of this street once stood the old jail and toll booth, but both were removed around 1825, with the War Memorial now in their place. This was unveiled in 1920. A new townhouse and jail were erected on the west side of the street. One of the most notable features of Whithorn is the Pend. This is a late medieval archway that leads to the Priory. It's surmounted by the Royal Coat of Arms of Scotland, which is believed to date from around 1500. As you walk down Bruce Street, you are walking where kings and queens of Scotland once tread on their way to the holy site. On St John Street is the public library building, which found fame in the 1973 film The Wicker Man, starring Edward Woodward. Station Road pays homage to the Wigtownshire railway that once ran to Whithorn. Opening on 9th July 1877, the line closed to passengers in 1950 and to goods in 1964. Many of the properties on George Street and a handful on St John Street are listed buildings. One of the oldest residents of Whithorn was a Mrs Macmillan, the widow of Baillie Anthony Macmillan, who died in 1794, aged 99. She'd lived in the area all her life and was, like her husband, well respected and well liked. The couple had 2 sons, with one becoming a magistrate in Whithorn, and 2 daughters. In the statistical account, it was stated, "She was remarkable for her cleanliness in person, at her table, and in her house, and lived like a saint, and died like a Christian heroine." Nearby are the remains of a Roman camp. Whithorn has much to offer, including the Whithorn Trust Visitors Centre and the Whithorn Iron Age Roundhouse. Historic Scotland also has a small museum on Bruce Street, and the Priory is in its care. Due to its cathedral being the seat of the Bishops of Galloway, Whithorn was granted the right to call itself a city, and was also referred to as a city in early charters. If you enjoyed this episode of Scotland's History, please like, comment and subscribe. Until next time, thank you for watching.